appreciation of the rose and the nightingale. So it's a fairy tale fantasy, or we can say it is a fable. What is a fable? It's a short story, typically with animals as characters, conveying a moral. Nature lives in communion with human beings. I told you that man and nature go hand in hand, and both are interdependent. Both are required. So this particular story is very allegorical because the nightingale stands for nature. Human beings are highly unreliable and moody. And so we find a contrast between nature on one side with human beings. Okay. And it's a very symbolic fable or a fairy tale, because so in a fable we have the animal characters talking, which is, but it has a moral. So what is the moral, or what is the theme that we find? That there is a contrast between human beings and nature. We find that the girl gives a condition that she will dance with the student only if the boy gets her a red rose. And the third theme is true artist lives for his work. The nightingale is a true artist. Okay. And the nightingale is able to sacrifice, selflessly give up life for the sake of the student. So the symbolism is the red rose stands for passion. The lizard, we will see in the conversation in the how the lizard is very cynical and pessimistic. The nightingale is a true pursuer of love and sacrifices life. The student is ignorant, doesn't know what is true love, and the girl is fickle-minded, very greedy, because once the chamberlain's nephew offers her jewels, she feels that jewels are more better than the red rose. Okay. So we find personification, the bird nightingale is personified, insects like lizard and butterfly is personified, trees like oak, daisy and rose are personified in this short story. There are a number of similes. We've already talked about it, and I like you to make a note of it. His dark hair is compared to the hyacinth. Okay, the hyacinth flower. His lips are red as a rose. Then she passed through the grove like a shadow. Like a shadow, she sailed across the garden, as white as the foam of the sea. In all this, you can see the simile, either like or two things are compared, either with the word like or as, as. Okay. Then meanings, I'd like all of you all to make a note of it or take a screenshot. So passion means strong feeling. Brow means forehead. Harp, musical instrument. So the nightingale and the rose is about a student who is in love with a woman, a professor's daughter. She has told him that she will dance with him if he brings her red roses. But unfortunately, the student's garden does not contain any roses. So we can find that it's a kind of conditional love where the girl, the professor's daughter, makes a condition or states a condition telling that she will only dance if the student brings a red rose. Now, the nightingale who happens to listen to this lovesick student feels sorry for him, and she knows how rare true love is. And so she wants to do something about it. In the meantime, the reason why the girl demands or the crux of the story is the prince is giving a ball the following night, and the student really wants to dance with the woman he loves, but the girl or the woman is stating that she will only dance if the boy gets her a red rose. Now, there are a number of characters. I told you this is a fable. So the animal characters talk, and there is discussion amongst themselves, and it also has a moral. So the lizard, the butterfly, the daisy, They are all surprised at the frantic way in which the nightingale is trying to pacify the young student, and they are kind of amused at the fact that the boy is lamenting that that he doesn't have any red roses to offer. So what the nightingale does is, she flies to a nearby grass plot. She asks the rose tree to give her a red rose, but the rose tree says that it only has white roses, so she cannot give. So that's the first tree that the nightingale goes to. And what is the answer that the rose tree gives? That she can only give white roses, or she produces only white roses. So she advises this nightingale to visit the rose tree next to the sundial. So the nightingale goes there and asks that rose tree. And the rose tree, which is located near the sundial, tells that it only produces yellow roses. So it cannot help. However, the tree directs her to a rose tree, which is right under the student's window. Okay. And when the nightingale approaches this tree under the student's window, the tree states that the winter has frozen its branches, so it cannot produce red roses. So the nightingale is so desperate, so selfless, and wants to really help the young student. She asks if there is any way. So the tree next to the boy's window, the student's window, replies that there is only one way of producing a red rose, and that is the nightingale should sing by moonlight by allowing a thorn to pierce her heart. So her